Hello, Flanny friends. Sorry about the lack of content this week. I've been a bit under the weather and it's been hard to talk, so I've been letting my throat rest. That being said, I wanted to go ahead and get this out for you guys, which is going to be my review of Renfield, starring one of my favorite actors, Nicolas Cage, as the one and only Dracula. Before we dive in, though, as always, if you want to stay up to date on the latest news and reviews at entertainment and gaming world, please consider liking and subscribing to feed my ever-growing desire to take over the world. Now, onto the review. Starting off with the Dark Lord himself, I've got to say this is probably my favorite Nicolas Cage performance in a while, and he really sinks his teeth into every scene. Yeah, I know, but come on, you gotta give me at least one pun in this, okay? He is just deliciously evil and over the top, and just so very much Nicolas Cage in each scene. While I know Dracula survives by feeding off the blood of the living, I'm fairly certain Cagula here could survive solely off the scenery which he chews on every moment he is present. I know technically Renfield is the main character, but I want more Cagula, thank you very much. Speaking of Renfield, played by Nicholas Hoult, I enjoyed him as the titular Renfield, who has turned into a bit of an action star in this film. One aspect which they touch on throughout the film is the abusive relationship between him and Cagula.
Sorry to interrupt. Are you okay? I need to get out of a toxic relationship.
But I will admit that I was really hoping they were going to dive a bit deeper into that. Maybe have it a bit more thought out and a bit more in-depth and thought-provoking. However, you fairly quickly realize that despite it being its premise, it's not that type of movie at all. What I got instead was an over-the-top bloodbath filled with as much cheese in some of its lines as it is filled with gallons of blood. And honestly, I enjoyed every minute of it. The location the film is set in is also a favorite of mine. New Orleans can do no wrong in my book when it is a background for a supernatural setting, be it Anne Rice's Lestat, the originals with the Michelson family, or even American Horror Story with its witches and voodoo. I'm an absolute sucker for the setting and atmosphere of New Orleans, and I think it was a perfect setting for the over-the-top supernatural story that we get in this one. Now, aside from the location, the other thing I wanted to discuss and give praise for are the fight scenes. While yes, the movie does its absolute best to go over the top with the blood and gore, giving some scenes from The Boys a run for their money, I find that I really enjoyed the fight scenes within it. They're clever, action-packed, hard-hitting, quite literally, and just really fun to watch. Do the mobs of New Orleans stand a chance against the bug-fueled Renfield? Absolutely not. But it's fun watching them try, and even more fun watching him rip them to shreds. While Awkwafina sort of gets cast as a straight man for this, which I don't think is her strong suit, she does get a good line every once in a while, such as this one.
You know when something crazy happens and someone's like, it's okay, I've seen way worse. Everything I saw you do today is gonna be my way worse.
The story is honestly not a big shock. If you've seen the trailers, you've pretty much got the story figured out. Not to say that it's bad, just that it's fairly predictable where it's going. But at a brisk 93 minutes, the film knows what it wants to do and rushes to it as quickly as possible, with only a few rest stops in between, normally stopping only for the carnage and gore-filled fight scenes, or the occasional awkward romance build-up, and the ever-so-important Cagula being fabulous moments. So, do I recommend it? Yeah, I do, but only if you go in with the right mindset. Is the movie going to be deep or thought-provoking, or even really scary? Absolutely not. Is it going to be a fun ride with Cage at his peak cageness and enough blood to drown the entire theater? Yes. Yes, it is. So, do with that what you will, but I, for one, am really glad I actually took the time to see it. That's all for now, Flanny friends. Sorry it's a quick one, just trying to preserve my throat. But hopefully next week I'll be at full strength. So until then, have a good weekend, and I'll catch you later, okay? Bye!